Just remember, if you ever build anything and you're thinking you're going to make it indestructible, always think about if you have to take it apart. So the easier it is to assemble and reassemble, the better. Hi, I'm Chris. Yeah, that's not me. That's me. I do a little bit of everything. Even I don't know what projects or things I'll be getting into. So follow along and hopefully we'll both learn something. Make sure you press subscribe, hit the bell, and smash like. This is 11th Hour Custom. It's amazing how much shorter the bus sits off the block. So before I start the bus again, I want to move it and wash it because it's got a lot of mold on it. The power steering fluid, when I was coming back from the test drive, the steering got tight, so I'm guessing the air came out. I'm going to take it back down, hang it in place, and then fill this up again. So this is one of these things that you hope never leaks. But I mean, it's also why you carry tools with you, just because it's such a pain to get to. There's the last bolt. We filled it up once. I picked it back up into place and it drained. And now it looks like it's kind of slowly going down. I'll bolt it back up and then we could just take a little cup or something and fill it as needed. Hopefully that's enough. It took almost a gallon. I got a couple small jobs done, and right now I'm going to do a little vehicle shuffle. Just be a little bit closer to the garage with the bus and turn it around. Hopefully when we start it and get some of the bugs got sorted out. And I'm kind of curious to see if the voltage gauge is working after we hook that cable up and how the power steering is since we topped it off. So that's the hot water heater, and I'm going to show you why that's back inside. I was working on the bus, it was running, I was having a couple issues with it going in gear cold. It would stall, no big deal. And then this happened. The other day when I was running it, the power steering got stiff when I got back. Here I just thought it found the air bubble. Well, it must have blown a line. I was just adding fluid and adding fluid and adding fluid like a moron. And I checked under the bus several times because I was about 3 gallons in. And I'm like, where the hell is this fluid going? Of course, I'm looking under the bus, I'm looking here and there. Well, it was coming out of the vent tube for the water tank on the ground. So I opened that bin and it was full of transmission fluid, which is what's in the power steering pump. My guess is that the supply line on the power steering pump is probably what went bad. So we gotta pull that line off, get a line made, and pull a new line in. So the only good thing I can honestly say is thank God it happened here in the parking lot rather than like on a road trip or something. So that's always one thing to say to yourself is like, you know, is it good to you or not? And it depends on if it leaves you stranded somewhere good or not. And so far this bus has not left me stranded anywhere bad. I drove the trip the other day around the block and it ran so nice, and I had power steering the whole time, and then when I got back and I went to get back in it, the power steering was gone. Deep down inside I kind of thought there was something wrong, but like I said, there was nothing dripping. Lessons learned. So here we are now. This side's got some fluid in it. I threw some diapers in there and a pan, and I'm sure it filled that trough up there with fluid. So it's the only place I could see it leaking is in here. It's not under the bus anywhere that I see, just in that one bin. Sure, it has a pinhole in it or something. I'm gonna call it quits for the night and drink my last beer and head home. I mean, it's a downer, but there's nothing I can do about it. So that's my thought process. And right, Bubs? Okay, so today is Sunday. As of now, my thoughts are in here. A couple of these floorboards come up and you can get to the top of the sending unit, and that's roughly where I'm guessing the leak is. I don't think the line's bolted down, but like originally you should be able to get in the bus in this trough to do work, but you know, with all the flooring and everything, you obviously can't. But it'd be nice to be able to see in there to see which one's blown and which one's not. So that's what we're gonna do. I couldn't get through the floor. I don't know where the loose panels are. I'm not gonna ruin the floors. The new plan is I'm gonna take the bumper off and take this panel off to get to the steering box, which is up here. Hopefully both lines aren't attached in the trough anywhere, and just pull the line out with a rope behind it or a string, pull the other one out with a rope behind it with a string, and replace both lines and just be done with those two lines. Those lines are obviously from 1988. This is 1988. We're just gonna have to, you know, bite the bullet and just do it that way, and hopefully we get away with that. You can see there's 3/8 bolts on that front panel up top, and then we'll go in the engine bay and try to get in that passenger side and unbolt it from the power steering pump. So we'll try, we'll see what we can do. I already loosened up these bumper bolts here. It's in pretty bad shape. All right, so the bumper's off. Here we go, people. One ugly pig. Huh? Weird looking. Here's the power steering hoses. There's one here. This is the headlight harness for this side. The other side was crimped on. You can see that fitting there is gonna be a pain in the ass. That's what you expect. It wouldn't be easy. These are, you know, the fittings that come apart. And like this hose right here doesn't look, it almost looks like it's broken there. It's ugly. Try to stay positive. And damn, that's 1 inch. That one's loose. That wasn't too bad for that one. But this is a 1 inch. I guess, and that's a return. And this is the supply. I don't know. Tight, tight, tight. Both lines are off here. We just have to cut them clear once they drain. One of these turds went bad, and I guess we're gonna figure out which one. But either way, we're gonna replace both. Looks like one's a number 10 maybe, and one's a number 8. But they look like they're spent. A lot of years, a lot of miles, a lot of tours, a lot of shows, all that shit. All right, I think I'm gonna have to put my jumpsuit on so I can climb around under this donkey. I'll show you where my next adventure for power steering hose takes us. It's under here. We're going under the bus. So here we are. Once you get inside, there's a little bit of room. So this is the trough that runs the whole length of the bus. These are the power steering lines. It's bolted down here and there, and hopefully it's clear from there, but it almost looks like it's zip tied the whole way. I can't really tell. It goes through that firewall back there. But there's 2 sets of cushion clamps here. And it may be the same all the way back. I'm gonna unbolt these and unbolt those and cut all the clamps. These are in pretty good shape. These lines say they're rated for 2000 PSI. There's no way I'm gonna be able to reach those zip ties all the way up there. And there's no way to access this trough from inside without ripping the floors out, which sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. It's funny, they're the same size hose. Fittings are different. This would be so much easier if we can get in from the floor. Let's get out of here for now and back out. So we got this elbow off and it's hanging down there. It's draining there. And then I got to pull the one off the back of the power steering pump. I think those power steering lines are bolted down in there. Probably get the floor up, which means that I have to go in towards the bathroom. This is turning into a project that I don't want to do. All right, let me give you a quick update. This is the one that goes to the reservoir, this line down here. So it's unbolted, and I'm going to take this fitting off here so that when we pull a line in behind it, like a rope or something, the elbow doesn't hang up on anything. And then we'll go back to the front and see if we can yank on them and see if they move. If they move, then we're clear shot for 2 new lines. I have a feeling that they're not going to move. So we're in the back bedroom of the bus. I have to get in the trough. This is the bed. We're going to disassemble the bed, take that out, and I may have to rip the carpet out. I'm going to try to dismantle as much as I can to make it simple to do this. I'm pretty sure the previous owner told me there was a place that he had removable boards to access the fuel tank. And that's roughly where the line broke. I can't find it. I can't figure it out either. The top is off the bed. I was kind of a pain in the butt by myself. You can see they did a nice job building the bed and everything. And I'm thinking this is the trough here. It's roughly the center of the bus. If we remove this board and this one, and we maybe just pull the bed up. I'm really procrastinating this job. So this bed frame is glued to the plywood, or maybe it's the paint, but I'm trying to, it's all unbolted. And it's solid. I'm gonna take out as many screws as I can and take it apart. Just disassemble this bed. Could have been just paint holding it down. I really don't think there's any glue, which is good. So we're gonna rip this carpet up. Alright, so there's the end of this board. Let's see where he cut here. Let's see if we can access these panels. Okay, we're getting there. Little by little. If we can get access here and maybe look forward in their trough, will definitely help. So what's underneath this floor? Another floor. New plan. And new future plan. Get this stuff out of here just so we can get these two boards up and then see what's underneath of those boards. And as you can see, there's another floor under there. So I'm hoping he laid these strips out to get to that trough. That's what I'm guessing. And I think I may actually do the same up here, is rip all this carpet out if I have to, depending on what it looks like back there. And this is like turning into a bigger project than I ever wanted to do. I'm not going to destroy the cherry floor for now. It's just very disappointing to have to do all this work. Alright, I'll get back to you. Alright, this is the end of one day, and this is as far as we got. I remember Chris telling me he made a panel up here to be able to access the compressor and all that stuff. At least he wrote on there. But this panel here is where we need to be. So we're gonna have a drink and eat, and then tomorrow we'll attack that. Bubbles is there. What? What do you want, Bubs? Come on. Coming in or no? You coming in? Come on, come in. Come on, everybody, come on. You're gonna sit right there, right at the edge of the door, right? Alright, I just want to give a quick update of this mess. See all the dirt? That dirt was underneath those tack strips, which I don't recommend putting permanent carpeting in, especially in a bus, because if you get to access this trough, you're screwed, like I am. When you do it, don't build things as, oh, you'll never get this thing up. I made it permanent. You make it permanent, you screwed yourself, or you're screwing someone else. A word of advice. If you buy a pneumatic stapler, or a floor stapler, whatever they are, just because you get you 1,000 staples doesn't mean you should. So any of the pieces that were like stapled in a million spots broke into a million pieces. And the one that just had tacks, the ones that just had tack nails in it came right up. And it still held the carpet down the same. So don't go bananas. Screws out of here. It looks like this goes further that way, which that's not good. Oh my God. Definitely gonna need the shop back. Wow, there it is. So there's the infamous trough that we couldn't get in. Look at this rat's nest. I'll tell you what, this is one bin that you definitely need access to. So the leak is probably that way further. We'll vacuum this all out and clean it up. So this is something that nobody wants to have to do, is go through this. But if you have to, you want to make it so that you can get back to it. So I'm thinking we'll make this like a hatch so you can get it back out again. So hopefully we can just unbolt this cushion clamp. These are the 2 power steering lines, and they go underneath those air conditioning lines. It'd be nice to just gut all that, cut it out of there. And you can see the electrical lines are all on that one side. This is antifreeze. We'll have to get a trash bag and throw all this shit in there. This one hose has a fitting right here. We're gonna undo that fitting, tie these ropes on, and then go in the front and hopefully pull these out, pull the hoses in with those ropes. I don't know which hose is what. We'll find out, I guess. Because one of these is still hooked to the pump. I don't know which one failed. I'm guessing that one's to the pump. It feels like it's bolted somewhere. It's my biggest fear, is that we gotta go further up and unbolt it somewhere. So I might have to rip the rest of the floor out all the way, at least to where the failure is. I wasn't looking forward to doing that. I was hoping I can get this out, but it's definitely in there tight. Something's holding it and I can't see what it is. So this just turned into a bigger job. Oh man. To do this, we gotta remove everything. And we gotta at least get up to where the leak is. This is gonna be like all summer, I bet. If it wasn't one thing, it's something else. I think this may be the end of this bus for me. What a pain in the ass. I may actually put in hatches. If I do that, you'll never need them. I think we have to do it this way, which is take this floor out and keep going. Just want to take a look-see. Alright, here's my mental dilemma as of right now. I'm working this floor up, and it's an interlocking wood floor. But as I get to that corner, it feels like it's either under that cabinet, which is most likely the cabinet's built on top of the floor, and the same over here. So like, do I rip all the cabinets out and keep going? Or I'm thinking when I run tape over top of these seams where the floor is and just cut the hardwood floor and slowly remove over top and literally build access hatches with the line in the floor. And I don't want to pry it up because I'm going to ruin it. Do we just make it accessible and make these hatches and glue them to the tops and then make them so they come in and out and put edging on them or something? Or do we just, I don't know, destroy the floor and rip everything up and be done with it? But I'm kind of thinking if we put tape down and cut and move along and cut in straight lines off the wall, because we know what the trough is this wide here, which is probably, I want to say like 16 inches. I'm thinking we cut board by board till we get the end of that piece, and then we'll make a square piece and make that one hatch. Maybe at some point the hoses will be freed up, and I'm thinking right past the fuel tank it may be. So like if we get to the end of this and we only have the one hatch, then it's not a big deal, you know? I'm not going to redo the whole bus just because of 2 power steering lines. I know this is going to look horrible. There's the next section we got to pull up. I pulled up the upper board that was on here. I'm glad Chris did what he did with the floor so far, and if that runs the whole length of the bus, then that's great. Look, I have a feeling the leak is right in this area. I think we may have to keep going with the tape and cut the whole damn floor. I mean, we only have that little bit of flooring, and then we have the carpet in the front, and I have a feeling it's all going to have to go. I mean, if we hit a point where I can pull those new power steering lines in, I'll stop, and then we'll just make the hatch from there to there. Never want to build something and say, well, we're never getting back in here, or good luck with that. It's like Capone's vault. Ay. Well, here's the good part is you can get to the thing in it now. Take a look at those wires as well and get these big red lines out of here. And there's the power steering lines, but I don't see where they're clamped anywhere else. So I'm gonna give a pull on that line again, knowing it's laying. Like it's definitely sitting free in here. Looks like there's nothing else holding it. There's definitely fluid in here, but I think the problem's further up.
I can like see the dirt coming off of it.
Yeah, it's nasty. When I get this up, throw it out. So up here, he floored over top of it.
Looks like it ends here.
So I have to keep cutting. I'm gonna cut through this plywood, and we'll just make the channel as far as we can. This is probably the 3rd or 4th day of this. So this is what we're down to. Carpet's gone. We're gonna redo all that. The previous owner put plywood right over that center line. What my plan is we're gonna cut just like I did back there. Let me look at my lines from back here. It almost looks like I'm off, doesn't it? The stairs. It looks like it's a little off. So I'm measuring off this furniture and stuff, thinking that's square. We may have to measure the stairwell in the very front there, like this. It almost looks like the stairs are that way a little bit, which makes sense with my cuts. Because if you look at the center post of the window, That's like right here. I'm gonna cut with a circular saw, and I'm gonna number these sections from 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, with the hardwood. So this way the hardwood can go right back where it was. So this is something that needs to be thought about if you're refurbishing a bus or converting a bus. I really think this is something that should be done. I know it could be ugly, but God, it's more helpful than ugly. And who cares? It means that you're broke down on the side of the road because of a hose has a hole in it and it's spewing antifreeze out, and you have no heat or something. At least you can repair it right in the bus, and you can run off the generator and be self-sufficient. It looks pretty straight. I think we're on target. I marked out where I think the trough is. The stairs are offset to the bus, in case you ever need to know that. They hug the passenger side. We're gonna use that center tape to hold the sections of wood together. And a friend of mine had a good idea. He said I should use like a chalk line. I said, yeah, that'd be a great idea. I don't even think I have one anymore. I have to look and see if I have one. We got all the hardwood cut out, right? We're just gonna cut this plywood because the hatches weren't left here. Hopefully underneath of that it's left. I don't think the front is, definitely. I'm gonna cut all the way up to here, which should be the last rib. There's a metal rib in there, and the channel up here is like 12 inches wide, so that I could reach in that trough at any time for anything. I also found the leak. So there's the hole, and that hole rubbed on there from that AC line down there. What? So that was the leak. So we're gonna remove those lines, all these red lines you see, and probably that control valve. But like, you know, this is the kind of stuff that you want access to. Once that's out of the way, I think that can go. This one here is a air conditioning line. Once we get this floor off, we could rip a lot of this stuff out and be done with it. Once you accept the fact that this is what you have to do, it's kind of one of those things that it should have probably been done from the get-go. These hoses all in here were all zip tied together. Like you could see those air conditioning hoses. You know, you blow a power steering line and you are out on the road, what are you gonna do? You do this on the side of the road? You're gonna let some garage do this? It cost you probably 10 grand to cut your floors up, and God knows what kind of job they would do. So thank God it happened where it happened, and we can take care of this the way I want to take care of it. It's a major job. We got a time to figure out our layout in here now. We're almost there, all the way up. So this is plywood glued to plywood, which has screws in between, which is why I can't get the panel out. Somebody always has to take it apart. Problem is, we don't know where there's screws under this glue. Awesome. Totally awesome. Thank you. Now we need more liquid nails. Now I gotta get the lower level on. Oh my God. This is the last spot right here where we go out, so we can actually pull the lines out. One clip here, and then we got those zip ties, and I think we can go out front and pull them out. So they knew. They fucked you, look. Wasn't that fun? 2013. Karma's a bitch. Hey, I'm sorry that footage is missing from me pulling the power steering lines out. I know I filmed it, but I cannot find it. So God only knows what happened to the footage. It could be my goofy GoPro. Anyways, as you can see, I'm still under construction here. I'm just about done with the floors. They just need some minor tweaking. This video is not supposed to be all bad, and it's not supposed to be negative. I really just wanted to bring up the point that if you are in the market for a bus conversion and thinking about buying one or building one, this is something to take into consideration. Make sure you know the bus, whether the manufacturer or not, and how it's set up to handle this. This particular bus, the Silver Eagle, has this trough where everything runs through it. So if you were to work anywhere outside of here, there's no electric except for what they ran for the conversion. Everything else is in the center here. So, I mean, this is the bloodline of the vehicle. Make sure that you check out the next couple of videos. I'm going to show you how I came up and designed and built these hatches. They need a little bit of fine tuning. I plan on doing that in the spring. I'm working on the driver's area now and the steps, which you can't see. So make sure you tune in the future. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you share this video. I'm trying to build the channel, and no matter what I do, it doesn't seem to take off. I'm questioning whether or not I should just throw in the towel. So thanks for checking this video out. Make sure you check out my other videos to see how I got to this point, and I'll see you soon. Oh my God. So in case you didn't see the other video, here is the old power steering lines. Here is the new lines, and there is Bubbles.